Hello everybody and welcome to something a little bit different on the channel. For those that don't know, ChatGPT is an online capability that allows you to ask any question, a statement, ask it to produce anything for you, and it will do it using AI. And it's been incredibly fun to use for lots of different things, but I thought, can ChatGPT play Football Manager? Now we're going to go into a new game in a minute, but first before we do, we're going to be Everton, and we're going to go into this and we're going to say, hey, what can ChatGPT set up for Football Manager? So without further ado, what is a good formation for Everton on FM23? Let's see what a popular formation for Everton on Football Manager 2003 could be. A 4-2-3-1 with the following player positions: goalkeeper, right back, left back, centre back, CDM, right midfield, left midfield, centre attacking midfield, centre forward. This formation provides a solid balance between defence and attack, allowing for versatility in play style and flexibility in player roles and tactics. Okay, what player roles should be used in a 4-2-3-1 for Everton? In a 4-2-3-1 formation, the following player roles can be used for Everton on FM23. Sweeper, keeper, fullback support, central defender, deep line playmaker, ball winning midfielder, winger on attack, advanced playmaker support, complete forward attack. These player roles provide balance between defence and attack and allow for versatility in play style, player movement and tactical flexibility. The roles can be adjusted to suit the team's strengths and weaknesses and the desired tactical approach. What team instructions should be used for Everton in FM23? In Football Manager, the following team instructions can be used for Everton in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Defensive style, balanced and pressing, narrow width, normal tempo, medium to high closing down, pressure medium to high, team shape structured, defensive line standard. Defense style, controlled and fluent, crossing mixed, passing directness normal or shorter, shooting mixed and positioning free form. These team instructions promote a balanced approach, allowing for both solid defence and creative attacking play. The specific instructions can be adjusted based on the team's strengths and weaknesses, opposition, and desired tactical approach. Right, let's go and implement that in the game. So here we are then, setting up a new game with Everton. We'll just do a quick start for this one and get into it. It shouldn't take very long for the game to set up at all. Okay, we're going to use ChatGPT's Manager, and with a lot of randomness, this is what the AI of Football Manager decided ChatGPT should look like. We're using all the stuff that's good for Everton, a default profile, so let's just use that and get into it. There you can see, so suggested badge, suggested experience, and a default manager style. Okay then, so we've been appointed. ChatGPT is the new manager of Everton on 60 grand a week. I bet ChatGPT likes that. Media predictions 16th. Can this formation, which isn't going to be a 4-3-3 DM, it is going to be a 4-2-3-1. That's what we're going to go with. Yep, don't care any of all of this stuff, whatever. We've played the game loads. We're literally going to go on holiday straight away. ChatGPT Everton. Yes, we'll replace that one. Thank you very much. Right then, here we go. Contracts are going to expire. We'll do the tactics, obviously, in a minute. We'll accept the club vision. Don't mind that. Play possession football. Play attacking football. Okay, let's see how we do. Tactics induction. Create the new tactic. Create your own style, please, in a 4-2-3-1. This is what ChatGPT is known for playing this system. So this is what ChatGPT said to remind ourselves. A sweeper keeper in goal. So sweeper keeper on support, that is fine. It doesn't give us whether it's defence support or attacking, so we'll go in the middle with support. Fullback on support, two centre backs both on defend, and the other fullback on support as well. A deep line playmaker on defend is what ChatGPT said to do, and a ball winning midfielder on defend as well in there. The other sides will be a right midfielder and a left midfielder, not attacking midfielders, on winger attack and winger attack. And then it was an advanced playmaker on support and a complete forward on attack, which would be pretty good for Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. Right, we then went on and asked what team instructions should be used for Everton, and they suggested defensive style be unbalanced with a bit of pressing. So mentality, I think we leave mentality as balanced, but out of possession, I would read a defensive style with balanced and pressing to be a little bit of pressing, so more often, and a defensive style to be pretty normal. Width in possession to be narrow, so fairly narrow or narrow. It says narrow, so that's what we'll go for. Closing down, medium to high. So again, coming back to out of possession, we will close down more often. I think that's pretty good. Pressure, medium to high. So would we say that is medium to high pressure? More than likely. Closing down, you could argue it could be get stuck in, but I think that's okay. Team shape should be structured. So if we come... Aha, there it is. Yeah, team fluidity, structured. So that's what we want for that one. Defensive line, standard. So again, standard defensive line. On the offensive style, controlled or fluent. So I would suggest in possession... What does that mean by controlled? It probably means shorter passing, to be honest. Well, we can come on to that. Crossing, mixed. Passing directness, normal or shorter. So we'll go slightly shorter. Shooting can be mixed, so we're not going to put anything on shooting there. Passing directness we've done. Positioning, freeform. Now, I would suggest that means be a bit more expressive because you can have creative freedom. That's what I took from that. Next up, well, that was it. That was all the stuff it gave us for the ChatGPT. So in transition, we're doing absolutely nothing. Although, could you suggest that press would be counter press if it was medium to high? I think you probably could. It doesn't say to counter. It doesn't say to do anything like that. But does that mess up? Team fluidity, structured, which is what it said, and keep our defensive line as standard. So that is what ChatGPT is going to play for the rest of this season, and we're going to come back at Christmas to see how Everton are getting on with ChatGPT as manager. So what we need to do, go into the homepage, go on holiday, and remember to tick this box, use current match tactics, reject all offers for all players, and we'll return from holiday on the 31st of December 2022. We'll see you then. Here we are then on New Year's Eve, 31st of December, and, well, Everton are performing above expectations, up into 12th, 18 games played, 6 wins, 4 draws and 8 losses. Those wins coming against Newcastle, 5-0 win over Newcastle, Villa 1-0, 3-1 over Southampton, 1-0 over Arsenal, Wolves 2-0 and Leeds United 4-0 as well. The draws coming against Brighton, Chelsea, not too bad drawing against them, Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, and the 8 losses are Fulham, Man City, Leicester, Man United, Tottenham all away from home, Brentford, Liverpool and West Ham, Liverpool away as well. But yeah, it looks like the team are performing reasonably well. Oh my word, we've got to do all of this, skip all of this. Right, let's go and have a look then, shall we? Goals. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played 10 games and scored 8 goals. He's obviously enjoying the system that's being used. Let's just quickly do this auto size so we can see it properly. Okay then, right, goals. Yes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's the top. Dele Alli's got 5, but he's out on loan. So again, let's just go with get rid of the people that are not at the club. Neil Maupay has 4, Alex Iwobi has 4, Dwight McNeil has 3, James Garner with 2, and then 1 each for Seamus Coleman and Damari Gray. So let's be honest, it looks like goals are a little bit thin on the ground at the moment. Iwobi leading the assists with 4, James Garner with 4, Mikalenko with 2, Patterson with 2, Gordon with 2, Maupay with 1, Vinagre 1, Tarkovsky 1, McNeil 1 and Tom Davies 1 as well. There are some bids that ChatGPT is going to have to deal with at some point as well. They must have come from the summer, I guess, or people's contracts are expiring because, yeah, we're not really paying attention to any of that. So tactically, as you can see, they are still using this. If we go into the last game, let's go and have a look at the schedule. We'll come in here, and it was a pretty... Well, actually, I was going to say a pretty poor start, but beating Leeds and Wolves 4-0 and 2-0, and then going on a bit of a poor run. We're still in the EFL Cup. No, we're not. We got knocked out to Leeds down here just after the World Cup. We've actually just finished December with a 5-0 win over Newcastle, a hat-trick for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which was pretty good. So what was the starting lineup in this game? So we can see it just down here in the bottom left. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, Gordon in behind him, McNeil on the left, Iwobi on the right, James Garner and Gay in the middle, Mikalenko at left back, Cody, Mina and Patterson are the rest of the back four, and Pickford in goal. So I mean, it does look like, I mean, that's something worth looking at. The average rating, who's playing the best in this system? Dominic Calvert-Lewin is getting the best out of Alex Iwobi. Idrissa Gueye's playing very well as well. Holgate's there. He's asked though. He wants his initial playing time. Tom Davies has a bid on him, but he's been playing reasonably well, although not getting a lot of games. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's not suiting Neil Maupay, who I imagine is just coming off the bench quite a lot. Doucouré as well. 20 appearances, but all off the bench. I thought he would have been a starter in one of those holding roles in the middle, but ChatGPT clearly not fancying him. Right, let's go and have a look then. Transfers. We've got 4 offers for Begovic. I sort of feel like for the good of ChatGPT, we just accept the ones that are offering the most money, which will be that one. And then we go, no, no, no. Yerry Mina has 4 offers as well. Lazio, Monaco, Fiorentina, and Eintracht Frankfurt. 9.25, 9.25. Yeah, we're just going to, are we going to buy anyone in? This is the question. Are we going to buy anyone back in? So his contract's expiring. So I think, yeah, we go, Yerry Mina. We'll take the money. And the rest of them can be rejected. Tom Davies then is a free contract at the end of his year going to AZ. Einar Iversen, a 21-year-old, we've got all those for 0, so we're just going to reject all of them. Andros Townsend, I can't believe he's still at the club. 3.1 million, yes, that one will do. And we'll say we'll accept that and you guys can have an ultimatum. Isaac Price, 4 offers there, all end of contract. Moises Keane is leaving and Salomon Rondon did have 2 offers, but they obviously expired or got rejected. So there's a bit of that. Right, I think we can go back to ChatGPT and say Everton are performing above what was expected. What changes should we make to the tactics, if any? Let's go and have a look. So back on ChatGPT then. So Everton are performing above expectations, but not scoring enough goals. What tactical changes could be made to help them perform even better? Let's have a look. If Everton's performing above expectations but not scoring enough goals, here are some tactical changes that could help them perform even better in FM23. Number 1, change formation. Consider change to a more attack-orientated, such as a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3. Increase the width. This could increase the team's width to spread the play and create more goal-scoring opportunities. Encourage more crosses into the box to create scoring chances from crosses or through second balls. Attack-minded player roles. Consider using more attack-minded player roles, such as complete forward, poacher, or advanced forward to increase the team's goal-scoring potential. Increase the tempo. Increase the tempo of play to create more opportunities on the break. Encourage more shots on goal. Make use of the flanks. Utilise the flanks more to stretch the opposition defence and create space in between the central areas. These tactical changes should help Everton score more goals and perform even better, but they should also be adjusted and tested in-game to see what works best for the team. Okay, so ChatGPT has had a little change of philosophy going into the second part of this season. So change the formation. I don't think we want to change the formation to a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3. I quite like this 4-2. It's more of a 4-4-1-1 that ChatGPT set up. But increase the width is something that it says we can do. So if we went to fairly wide, I think now that's definitely increasing the width. Encourage more crosses into the box. So we'll hit some early crosses. Attack-minded player roles. Consider using more attack-minded player roles such as a complete forward, poacher, or advanced forward. So we already have a complete forward on attack, but let's just change our advanced playmaker to attack to get that more attacking options onto the pitch. Increase the tempo is another ChatGPT recommendation there. Encourage more shots. So let's shoot on sight as well as hit early crosses in. And make use of the flanks. So focus the play down the left and the right. That is all the changes that ChatGPT wants to do for the second half of the season. So we'll come back for the end of season review and see how season 1 has gone for Everton under ChatGPT's control. We'll be back in a bit. So the season has finished for Everton under the guise of ChatGPT controlling the management, controlling the tactics and figuring out what's going to happen. And as you can see from the league table, well, they finished in 12th, which was good. That's where they were before the break at Christmas, and we come back at the end of the season and they're still 12th. But a few little reminder then of what we set up at the beginning of the save. This is what ChatGPT originally set up like. In a 4-2-3-1 it said, but it put right wing and left wing at right midfield and left midfield, so it was more of a 4-2-2-1-1. It wanted a structured shape, a standard defensive line, mixed crossing, and some freedom of movement for the players in the system. Now, progressing forward to Christmas, when we did the changes at Christmas, when we went back into ChatGPT and said, well, no, we need to score more goals, what's going to happen? What do you want to do? And, increase the width, increase the tempo, more crosses, attack-minded roles, encourage more shots, and make use of the flanks. Well, diving into the table then, what we can see is that Everton really didn't change that much. So if we go and have a look at the stages in full, we can see it all here. I hate how there's so much empty space in this table. It's very annoying. But Everton are here, 38 points, 12 games won, 12 games drawn, 14 lost. Goals scored 40, goals against 41, a goal difference of -1 overall on 48 points. Terrible form to end the season as well. We'll go and have a look at all that in a minute. But I've been doing some maths and figuring things out. So in the first half of the season, which isn't technically halfway, it was after 18 games at the Christmas point where they just beat Newcastle 5-0. They had scored 16 goals in 18 games and conceded 17 goals in 18 games. In the second half of the season, they scored 24, conceded 24, and that was both in 20 games. So in the first half of the season, they had a 0.88 goals per game ratio and a 0.94 conceded per game. In the second half of the season, they had 1.2 goals scored and 1.2 goals conceded across the season. If we split it up into what happened in the first half and the second half of the season as well, the first half was 6 wins, 4 draws and 8 losses, and the second half of the season was 6 wins, 8 draws and 6 losses. So slightly less in terms of losses towards the second half of the season. But it started really well, absolutely flying, top of the league, 4-0 win against Leeds, a 2-0 win against Wolves, and then it all came tumbling down. And Everton have sort of bumbled around in this safe zone, but ChatGPT didn't get sacked, and that is the main thing, to be honest. And if we go and have a look at the formation that ChatGPT set out to play, there are some interesting stats to pull out of it. So general performance across comparing us to the average of the league. So goals per game, we were a lot less than the average goals per game in the system. The expected goals per game, we were incredibly low. So there was expected to be 1.38 goals per game in the Premier League. We got 0.82, which is pretty bad. To be fair, we were nearly half a goal a game worse off than everybody else. Why is this bugging out and now not removing? Anyway, let's come in here. Shots per game, we had 8.18, which was 4.06 shots per game less than the Premier League average, and we tell them to shoot on sight as well, so a little bit different, that one. However, shots on target ratio, we had a higher percentage ratio than the rest of the Premier League. We had a better pass completion ratio, a better tackles won completion ratio. Expected goals per against, well, we had 1.34 expected goals against per game over the whole season, which was 0.03 fewer than the Premier League average, but we actually conceded more goals per game than the Premier League average, which is why when you then come out of here, and this is where it gets a little bit bad for ChatGPT, if you go back into competitions of Premier League, for those that don't know, if you go into the stages, you can actually go to the XG table, so your expected goals and expected points. So with our expected goals and our expected goals against and our expected points we should have achieved, ChatGPT should have finished 18th and got relegated. Now, I don't want to say that Dominic Calvert-Lewin saved his blushes, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin definitely saved ChatGPT's blushes. 21 goals in 33 games. He was on absolute fire. So there's still the problem that ChatGPT isn't scoring enough goals. They're not creating enough chances. They're not doing enough to win games. Yes, they had a better sort of win-draw percentage in the second half of the season, but they aren't winning enough games and aren't creating enough chances or good chances. They're creating, a small amount of chances or half chances, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is just putting them in the back of the net. So the next thing to consider is, do we do part 2 of this? We'll go back and look at some more stats in a minute, but I want you guys to answer this question now. Do we do part 2? And in part 2, do we start with transfers that we will do for ChatGPT by asking it questions about what sort of players would help us improve, and then we go and find those players through attributes, try and bring them in and buy them and see if they're used, and go through that route, and then do season 2 as a sort of part 2 of this, similar to part 1 really. We'll bring the players in, we'll ask ChatGPT who it wants to buy, what it thinks is a good sort of player to go and look at, and then what sort of tactics they want to implement going into season 2, and then we'll do again the review at Christmas time, ask if there's any changes that we think it should need. Does it need more goals? Does it need to be better defensively? And see what ChatGPT wants to bring in, and then review it at the end of season 2 again. Let me know if that is something you would like to see in the comments below. Leave a like as well if you quite like this idea of something different around ChatGPT. Yeah, and go and check out ChatGPT. It's good fun to use, to be honest. But anyway, back to the data hub. So we know that we're not creating a good number of chances, and that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is sort of bailing us out. But passing dynamics, we are such an outlier compared to everybody else. So we're not allowing, so fewer passes allowed against and fewer passes completed, you'll be down here. So the complete opposite is lots of passes allowed against us and lots of passes completed. So we're keeping the ball really well when we get it, but when we don't have it, the computer or the oppositions are really sort of holding on to it and passing the ball a lot when we don't have it, which is quite interesting. I thought about that, so maybe that's some information we can feed into ChatGPT if we want to do this for next year as well. In terms of defending then, so clearances per game, we are clearing the ball 5.22 times more than an average Premier League team, which is incredible per game. That's absolutely incredible. Expected goals against per game, we were 1.34, which is fewer than the average, which is quite interesting actually, according to this, 0.003 fewer than the Premier League average, which isn't too bad. Tackles won, we're tackling more than the average Premier League team. We are having more interceptions than the average Premier League team. We aren't making as many blocks. So I'm not too sure what ChatGPT will make of that. The other thing is, what stats do we give ChatGPT to try and improve this tactic? That's what I want to know. And a tackles tempted per game, we are attempting more tackles per game than the average team in the Premier League. So possessions then, Alex Iwobi is standout here. Frequently wins the ball, but also frequently loses the ball, which is what I'm learning from that. As you can see, possession lost over 90 minutes 19 times per game, and 9.1 possessions won per 90 minutes, which is quite interesting. And the defending numbers are outliers, so fewer blocks and lots of clearances down here. I assume it's thinking early crosses are lots of clearances. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see what ChatGPT can do with this, and it's just a fun little series. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to know what sort of players ChatGPT would recommend to enhance the system and enhance the squad. If we went in and basically said we outperformed our expected goals by quite a ratio, but should have been finishing lower in the league, what sort of attributes should we be looking for in players to bring in? I wonder what it will say. I have absolutely no idea. I haven't done it. It will be the start of season 2 if we do it. So yeah, let me know. But a bit of fun, AI can get the Everton squad to 12th, which is much better than what Frank Lampard was doing, and I think that's a very good way to finish this first bit of season 1. Part 1 perhaps of this episode, we'll have to wait and see. I can't imagine, how far was Dominic Calvert-Lewin off the goals? 9th. He was 9th top goal scorer with 18 in the league, so yeah, not too bad. Oh, I guess, how did we do in the competitions? 5th round by Liverpool, that will hurt, and 4th round by Leeds, and Liverpool won the league as well, so that would have been a double whammy for Everton fans. But yeah, there you go, Everton fans. If you're watching, ChatGPT, who's AI, basically performed better than Lampard during his time as manager, setting up a system that was created by ChatGPT. I hope you guys want to do a second episode. I think I would like to see what ChatGPT does in terms of changing it from season 1 to season 2. But yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Something a little bit of fun to go alongside the Guiseley save. It was just interesting and tickled my fancy. But thank you so much for watching. We'll come back hopefully for part 2 if you guys want to see more. Cheers.